Yo, it's Captain. We're gonna try something a little different today. I wanted to talk about the Summer Games Fest presentation and some of the games they did, and kind of give you some of the highlights that I thought. Um, the different part is I'm gonna just try to show you the trailers with my little face in the corner. It might come out really cringe. This might fail. I might not even release it. This might be a disaster. But I really like the Summer Games Fest this year. I usually can't stand presentations, like games presentations. They annoy me. They always start talking about not games. They always pull out like a celebrity or something, and it just like I just and they start talking about some cause, and I'm just like, what are we doing? But this one, it was really nice because this is kind of the kickoff. I know there's been other presentations and whatnot, and there's certainly more to come. But this is kind of the kickoff to the event. You know, Jeff Keighley gets up there and he does his thing and he says we're kicking off, and it was nice because I actually watched this one. I skipped through the games. You know, I still skipped through. I didn't watch it live because I'm like asleep, but uh, I did skip through like things that I wasn't super interested in, whatever. But for the most part, I watched it. Usually, I give up and just go to the trailer page. But what was really nice about this one was there wasn't a lot of BS. They talked about the games. They just had like the devs get up and maybe give a little presentation. They kept it short. They kept it quick, and they kept it about the games and just showing you cool stuff. And I really appreciated that. And I wanted to shout out the opening little speech that Jeff did because he highlighted that what's good for the industry is small studio and indie games, and he gave a specific highlight to those mostly through the presentation. There was a lot of those games, probably a lot of what I'm going to show you. There's some bigger ones too. Um, and I just thought that was really nice. I think he pointed out like the biggest. He said like he had the top 10 releases on Steam or whatever. I forget how he narrowed it down, but he had like 10, and he said these were the top 10, and he said 8 of them were small studio indies, and he was correct. There was only 2 that were like big AAA studio things, and he just had a nice little statement about how this is good for everybody. It's good for the developers. It's good for the players, and I really appreciated that. I really appreciated that. I know it's easy to meme on all this stuff. I know it's easy to meme on Jeff. And it all probably deserves it. I've memed on it all myself and rolled my eyes at quite a few things. But as far as this one goes, I really appreciated that shout out to the things that are driving innovation in the space, because the games industry is a creative industry and you need innovation. You need, and that comes from the smaller things, because the bigger things, they're too risk adverse because they're too big, right? So you need that innovation to create new stuff and new experiences for people, and to just have inspiration, because without that, a creative industry, it dies, it stagnates, and it dies. So it is really important, and I'm glad he shouted that out and kind of gave a very big highlight to this important presentation that a lot of people watch. It was #1 on trending on YouTube, and said, hey, here's what's important for the industry, and for it to be correct and not just some personal agenda thing, which is usually what people get up on these stages and drive me nuts, and why I turn them off. So it was just really nice to be like, hey, here's actually what's good for the industry. All right, I've probably talked enough about that. People are rolling their eyes at me at this point. So let's try this part that I think is going to be scuffed. And if it's too scuffed, well, I'll just chalk this up. This didn't work. But I've got a list. I made a list of games. I put in the Discord the big list of games that I thought looked cool. But I've shortened the list a little bit to trailers that kind of like focused on gameplay and that I thought I could talk about. And some of them I'm a little worried that I still won't be able to talk about, and we'll just see how it goes. But I just want to go through them and just kind of play some of the trailer. Just see how it goes. We'll just see how it goes. So let's you'll see the YouTube page, but it'll kind of work because here. So you'll see like, oh, we faded. You'll see the YouTube page. It'll kind of work because you can hopefully see their names, and I can't see all their names, but it should work. We'll go through the games. So the first one I want to talk about was Cuff Burst because it seemed absurd, and I should be playing the trailers. It seemed absurd. This was, I think this is how they opened it. Actually, I think they opened it with Lego, but this was this is the first one that caught my attention because this just looks absurd. It looks like that. It just looks like fun games that you play with your friends. You know, a lot of those games have been horror games lately. You get your friends together and you try to, you know, you like play Phasmo or something. But this one is is not right. It's very colorful. It's very cute. It's very silly. It's very, very silly. And I thought it looked fantastic. So I don't know. I just wanted to shout it out. I mean, what is this absurdity? But that's one of them. We won't see the whole trailer. We won't see the whole trailers because I don't want to. You can watch the trailers yourself. They go to the Video Game Awards site or go to the individual sites. But that's Cuff Burst. It looks fantastic. It looks like a lot of fun. All right, next. We're gonna get through these quick. You're watching this, so you don't have to watch the 4-hour presentation. So we're gonna go. This next one is Neva. I think it's Neva. He said it's by the creators of Grister. But what I liked about this one, it seems to be a platformer, like an action platformer maybe. But it's about this girl and this little fox creature. And there's actually another game about a person and a creature. But it's a boy and a deer. This one's a girl and a fox creature. And so, I don't know, it's just very pretty. I liked how beautiful this was. Gris was known for being beautiful. I liked how beautiful this was. It does seem to have some action at some points. And I'm assuming it's some, like, you just puzzle through. I tried to do a little research, but I didn't know what was going on. But for the most part, I'm just judging off these trailers. See, there does seem to be some, like, action combat and things going on. It reminds me of, like, Ori with how beautiful it was. But I don't know if it's that intense gameplay. It might just be a straightforward go through the side scrollers and do some action as you go. But it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. I'm looking forward to this one. And it seems like the fox thing grows, which is nice as the time goes on. And she'll hug it at the end. But yeah, so that one looks good to me. And weirdly enough, it's not the only one with the person and a forest creature. But we'll see that. We'll see that next. All right, we saw that one. We saw the whole one of that one. All right. Next is Tears of Metal. Tears of Metal looks like, well, Paper Cult Games. I should have looked these up. That's who put the trailer over this. But Tears of Metal looks, I don't know. This just blew my mind. This looks like a Musu roguelike, and it's Celt. It's all it's like Braveheart Musu roguelikes. So, I mean, there's like, if I had the sound on, it'd be playing bagpipes. I mean, literally, that's what the music is. So you've got, I don't know, it just caught my eye. I was just like, what is this? So, I don't know, this management reminds me of like Darkest Dungeon or something. But then it's got the roguelike, pick your battles. And then the battles are actually this action hack and slash brawler stuff that just looks fantastic. It looks so much fun. I would play this and have a good time. It looks just absurd. So, I don't know. I thought it was cool. All right, next. What's next? We got speaking of animals and peoples, here is another one. This one is Deer and Boy. I really should have had if I was prepared, I would have had the devs. I should have wrote them down. I wrote down the names of the things. But it's another one. So yeah, I was kind of hoping the trailers would do it for me. It's another one about a person and a forest creature, and they go on a journey together. This one looks a lot more story-based, if I had to judge off this trailer. It doesn't, I didn't see, like, action combat or anything. It's more just going through the story. Maybe it's, like, a puzzle. Maybe it's just straight up, just you go through the story, and it's not even that many puzzles. I don't know. But you could see as the trailer goes on, like, the deer grows up. I like this scene. This scene's really cute. It seems very much story vignette focused. I don't know there's a couple side scrollers that are like that, where you just kind of go through them and they have like puzzles and you're mainly just telling you the stories. But what's nice is the deer grows up and it seems like you could do more platforming elements. Like as the deer gets older, oh, here you go. Like he'll help you up. You know what I mean? And then I think the last bit of the trailer is a stinger at the end where they got the deer and his like his horn, he's grown up to a stag, and his horns are glowing and stuff. I don't know. I think there you go. We've watched this whole trailer too, but that looked really cool to me. I don't know why there's two games with animals and people, but I like them both. So there you go. All right, next. This one made me laugh. This one made me laugh. This this I don't know. Look, I know this Killer Bean. This is Killer Bean. I know this Killer Bean from the meme, from people posting in Twitch chat the dies of cringe, and it's the Killer Bean, and he like falls over. I know. I only know this is a meme. As far as I know, it doesn't exist as anything else. But I think it does. I think it is something else, like a show or something. But now, Boomer Captain confirmed. But now it's also a video game. Now it's also a video game that is absolutely absurd. So I couldn't believe this was real, and and it cracked me up. So I don't know. It's like It's like Killer Bean Hitman. I don't know. But there it is. It exists. In all of its absurd glory. All right, moving on. What is this one? Wanderstop. This one might be a little weird. I almost didn't include this one because it might be the trailer. You kind of probably need to listen to the trailer to really understand this. It's just that Annapurna Interactive is the publisher. But it said it was from the makers of like Stanley Parable. And the idea is, if you do listen to it, which I recommend you do, if you do listen to it, this girl, she's talking about how she just wants to fight, but she's stuck at this magical tea shop. And they make her do farming, and they make her, she makes tea, and she serves customers, and it's not really her thing. She just wants to fight, right? But it's kind of nice, and it's kind of fun, and, sometimes it's fun to sit down on the bench and just enjoy it. But then, like, if we get that far in the trailer, you'll see it. She sits on this bench and she starts like twitching, dude, and she starts getting images of violence, and it's like she's about to break down into the fighting until one of the tea guys comes and says, "Are you okay?" And then she's back. So there's gonna be like some crazy twist thing to this, that it's not quite as cute and fun. Oh, here, I think we'll get to see it. So, like, she's trying to tell herself it's gonna be calm, it's gonna be fine, and then it's just like it's itching on her, like she's flipping out. So I don't know. It's by the Stanley Parable folks, right? Like, there's got to be something going on beyond just cute tea, right? And then she's, "Oh, you okay?" Right. So who knows what's going on there? But I'm sure it'll be something. It caught my eye just because of how interesting that was. It just seemed interesting. All right, let's move on. This is not a game. It is actually several games. I loved this part. Speaking of, putting a highlight on smaller studios, indie games. I'm gonna be blocking some text for this. But Innersloth are the guys that made Among Us, right? And they said what they did is they were very successful with Among Us, and so they decided to use that success and invest in other indies. And they essentially, I don't know if they didn't say published, they funded all these other indies through their success. And I think that happens to several companies, smaller like studios or indies. I've seen them do that, and I always think it's fantastic. It's like, hey, we won the game and we got successful, so we're gonna help other games that we think are great do the same thing. And these games actually look really good. Like this one, like their little showcase was fantastic. It looked really good. That's them being cute. But I think we're done. I think we saw them all. They just talk a little bit. Oh, there is a few more, but they talk a little bit. But I don't know. I just thought it was awesome. I thought it was really in the spirit of, what the flavor of this Summer Games Fest was. That, hey, we're having a small studio being successful, and we're gonna pop up more small studios. So I thought it was fantastic what they did. So there you go. There's their little showcase. That is a Garfield commercial. All right, moving away from small studios, I suppose. I did put a couple bigger studio stuffs in here. It's coming to more than PlayStation, but some of these, I think like the Capcom ones I ended up with getting PlayStation trailers. But But this is Kunitsu-Gami, which is not a, well, I don't know if it's a small team, but it's not a small studio. It's a Capcom game. And I included this because it just seems interesting to me, and I haven't known what to think of it. But this trailer, it's coming out pretty soon. This trailer showed the most gameplay that we have seen of it thus far, I think, and that looked interesting to me. It's some sort of tower defense. Like you spend the day like putting defenses up, and then at night you fight off these demons and try to stop them from getting there, getting to your town. So I thought it was just nice. I haven't known what to think of this game. It's a new IP, and it's very Japanese, but I haven't known what to think of it. There you go. It's coming out soon. We'll stop it there. It's coming to more than PS5, but it's coming to Steam and Xbox too, probably. But I haven't known what to think of it, and this trailer was a really nice way to just like, this is really an action game. There's a lot to do here, so I wanted to include it. What's next? Hyper Light Breaker is next, and I don't know. I never played Hyper Light Drifter. People keep telling me to. It's on my list of things that I'd like to play, but this is not that. This is Hyper Light Drifter, and I guess it's like, it looks like it has survival elements to it. Like you've got a big world to run around in. I tried to look it up on Steam to see, and it just said it was like an action RPG, an open world action RPG. So I don't know, but I mean, in this trailer, they're talking about co-op. They're talking about crafting and survival. It just looks cool. I like the art direction. I like the action. It just looks like a fun time. It looks like you could play with your buddies and do some crazy stuff. So I don't know, anything that looks good and catches my eye, I wanted to show. So yeah, explore, collect, run around. So I don't know. It looked like there was more going on than I thought. So thought it was cool. Thought I'd show it to you. There you go. Next. These are games that don't need these are everybody. I feel like everybody knows these, but Pal World is having its first big update, and I just wanted to talk about Pal World a little bit because speaking of games from small studios and indie games that came out of nowhere and took the world by storm, Pal World was one of those. Blew up, very successful, very cool. They just went out and said, we're gonna do some stuff. I think this was their first game. They said, we're just gonna go out and do some stuff that we think is fun, and it worked. It's basically, what's the word? It's not. Oh, I always forget the word. Irreverent. It's irreverent humor. It's Pokemon with guns, right? It's Pokemon that you catch and you pet, and they're very cute, and then you put them to work on cutting, mining rocks for you, and then when you're hungry, you cook them, right? Like it's that silly. And I just love that it was successful and people had such a good time with it. And, what is needed is, what are they going to keep going? Are they going to do big updates and make it keep going? And it looks like they are. So I wanted to shout that out. All right, next. This is another big ass game. And it's coming to more than PlayStation. I debated on whether to include these because these are such big deals. But I love Monster Hunter. And I'm not sure on Wilds yet. I'm sure it'll probably be great, but the art style is and the art direction is a little strange to me. It feels like Assassin's Creed to me, or it feels like the Monster Hunter movie, where I'm not sure about the fantasy elements. Some of it looks like some of the main characters they've introduced look like girls you'd see in a coffee shop in New York, or somebody you'd see walking down the street in LA, and I'm just like, is that really Monster Hunter? But, whatever. Well, I'll give it a chance. Definitely you're still running around fighting monsters. It might seem silly me saying that on this trailer, because this trailer is wild, and you see all sorts of stuff. So if anything, this trailer gives me a little bit more hope there. But like I said, I'll give it a shot. I love Monhun. I don't know why she tells this guy to go away, that she'll take care of it, when she said we had to do it together earlier. I think she's the hunter, right? So, and he's the local, and she came to save him, but why didn't she say, I came to save you earlier? Why did she say we'll do it together and then send him away? It was confusing to me. Maybe I'm the only one. I love it when it's that brightly colored. So I don't know. This stuff just looks really cool. Monhun, this game's going to be huge. I just hope they do it right. I hope it's awesome. And I don't know. I want to be sold on it. but I have a few reservations, but it does ultimately look really good. So there you go. That's Monster Hunter. It's gonna be good, hopefully. And this was the last one that they did in the showcase, and it's the last one I got. And I thought it looked really good. I don't think we know much about this. I couldn't even find this game on Steam or anything to like try to verify what the genre it was so I could talk about it properly. It looks like it's a Souls-like or just a third person action adventure type thing, but it looks really good. Looks really good. I don't think I think it's way out is the problem. Is why we don't know too much about it. It's not in the stores yet. But it just I don't know. I don't know what else. Like I said, I couldn't find much about it. But here you go. We get to the gameplay. See, I don't know. I don't know if like do we really just call every third person, action combat game a Souls-like? I don't know if it's actually a Souls-like. I just know that it's got cool action combat and looks really good. And seems to have this samurai flavor with weird stuff. So I don't know. I thought it looked great. I thought it was a nice way to end the show. They of course did Days of the Dev. Did I get that right? I did get that right. There's shows after Summer Games Fest, and I watched them too, and they had some cool stuff too. But this was already long enough to show off. They had like the Devolver presentation afterwards, and the Days of the Dev. It's gotta be what it is. So this looked really cool, and so that was it. All right, we're gonna come back to the big head. I don't know how much more that's got, but you've seen it. It looks awesome. All right, that was Phantom Blade Zero. Hopefully I said all their names properly and did all this. I don't know if I can link all these trailers. That's a lot. It was all in the summer. It's all in the Summer Games Fest Video Game Awards channel. Maybe I'll just link that stream. But these are the things, and then there's even more that I liked that I didn't have trailers for, because like the trailers were, they didn't have enough gameplay, or I didn't really know, things like, well, I mean, and just things I just thought I didn't need to talk about, or like, I thought Space Marine 2 looked really cool. I thought Battle Crush looked really cool. I thought Mecha Break looked really cool. Kingdom Come Deliverance looked really cool. I thought I was going to include that, but honestly, the trailer was just it was a story trailer. So not listening to it didn't make a lot of sense. Even less sense than the Wanderstop one, because it was all fun gags and dialogue. So I was just like, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 of course looked amazing. And people just were all loving Kingdom Come Deliverance. So the fact that it gets a sequel and just looks good. It didn't even look like my thing, but people have kept saying so many good things about it. I'm like, do I need to play this game? I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 looks great. And then what else? I had Unknown 9 Awakening, which looked pretty cool. It looked like an action RPG. And there's even more that I didn't even put in this list. There was Star Aces, I think was its name. Battle Aces. Captain Police. Well, there was a new RTS that looked really cool. But it wasn't a gameplay trailer. It was like a gameplay presentation, so I didn't really know how to show that one. But there was all sorts of neat stuff. Let me see. It's gonna take me way too long to find it. But that's what I wanted to show. Those are the things that I thought were cool from the Summer Games Fest. And hopefully a shorter, like 20 minutes. Hopefully that's shorter than watching the 2-hour presentation. So I thought those are cool. I wanted to just show some of that off and just show some stuff to people who maybe hadn't seen it. I don't know. I don't I don't know how scuffed this was. Trying to do it all in all like this. But I don't know. That's what I wanted to talk about today, because that just seemed like the cool thing to be talking about. That happened today. It was a big deal, and I wanted to show off some stuff from it. I don't know. Maybe I should. There's still some from like the Days of the Dev. There's like 3 or 4 Days of the Dev, and a couple I thought were cool from Devolver. I don't know. Let me know if you want more Scuffed trailer presentations. And maybe I'll do some more of them. Captain, why aren't you looking at the screen? I'm still scrolling. I want to get the name of that thing right. I'll never get it. But But yeah, there you go. So hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hope you found some new games that you thought were cool. And just shout outs to Summer Games Fest for being a cool one. I thought this is the best one they've had. So that's it. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. Have a good one.